Chicago, listen to me right now because we are standing on the edge of a franchise-altering precipice. The offseason is here, and the decisions being made inside Hallis Hall at this very second are going to define our Bears for the next decade. We are not just talking about minor roster tweaks. We are talking about clearing millions in cap space, a full-blown war over where this team will actually play football, and a defensive overhaul that could change the entire identity of our secondary. The front office is sharpening the axe, the politicians are getting involved, and the experts are already placing their bets on who is coming to town. Do not blink.
Let's get straight to the business of football because the numbers do not lie, and right now, the numbers are screaming that a major exit is imminent. Sources are indicating that a specific veteran on our roster, currently carrying a salary of roughly $8.4 million, has been identified as the primary candidate to be released. This is not a rumor, this is a calculated financial maneuver. In the NFL, the salary cap is a living, breathing organism, and you have to feed it. To open up the necessary space for the new league year, Ryan Poles and this front office have to trim the fat. This move is viewed internally as a necessary strategy to unlock the flexibility we need to be aggressive in free agency. When you look at the ledger, $8 million is a starting safety. It is a quality offensive lineman. It is the difference between landing a playmaker and settling for a backup. But let me tell you what this really means, and I need you to feel the gravity of this situation. You do not pay $8 million for mediocrity. You do not pay premium prices for production that does not translate to wins on Sunday. This is the National Football League, not a charity. If you are taking up that much space on the cap, you better be a cornerstone, and clearly, this veteran is not that. It is disrespectful to the fans, and it is negligent to the franchise to keep dead weight on the books just because of past loyalty. We are trying to build a contender here in Chicago, and contenders make the hard choices. They look at the checkbook and they say, you are not worth this number. It is ruthless, yes, but winning is ruthless. Losing is comfortable. We are done being comfortable. This cut is the first domino. It is the signal that nobody is safe if they are not performing up to the value of their contract. We are clearing the deck. We are scrubbing the books. And why? Because we need every single penny for what comes next. This isn't just about saving money. It is about reallocating resources to players who are actually going to help us dominate the NFC North. But here is the kicker, and this is the part that should keep you up at night. If we are cutting ties with established veterans to save cash, it means the front office has a massive target in their sights that requires a heavy wallet. You don't clear this kind of space unless you're preparing to spend it on something or someone huge. But before we even get to who we are signing, we have to address the elephant in the room that is threatening to tear the heart out of this fan base. You think the roster cuts are painful? Wait until you hear what is happening with our home turf.
If you want to be the most informed Bears fan in your circle and get these exclusive updates before anyone else, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Do not miss a single beat of this offseason. Now we have to pivot to a situation that frankly is an absolute embarrassment. I am looking at the headlines and I see the governor of Illinois suggesting that the Chicago Bears, our Bears, are on their way out of the city. And let me tell you, the reaction from around the league, specifically from voices like Stephen A. Smith, has been nothing short of explosive. Stephen A. did not hold back, and frankly, he shouldn't. He said, "What a shame for Chicago." And he is absolutely right. We are talking about a franchise that is woven into the very fabric of the Windy City. The idea that there is no deal in place to keep this team at Soldier Field or on the lakefront is a failure of leadership on every single level. The governor's comments indicate a breakdown in negotiations that could see this team packing up and leaving the city limits entirely. This isn't just about a stadium, this is about identity. The Chicago Bears belong in Chicago. The grit, the toughness, the freezing cold temperatures on the lakefront, that is who we are. To hear insiders and analysts look at this situation and express strong indignation is valid. It is a disgrace that we are even having this conversation. You have a historic franchise, a founding pillar of the NFL, and we are playing games with real estate while the fans are left in limbo. It is unacceptable. Stephen A. Smith calling it a shame is putting it lightly. It is a tragedy in the making. We are talking about ripping the heart out of the city. And for what? Leverage? Politics? The fans deserve better than this. We pack that stadium, we brave the elements, we support this team through thick and thin, and this is the thanks we get? A public spat between politicians and ownership while the legacy of Soldier Field hangs in the balance? It makes me sick. But you know what? While the suits are arguing over zip codes and tax breaks, the football minds are trying to salvage the product on the field. Because regardless of where this team plays, whether it is in Farlington Heights or downtown, They need a defense that can stop somebody. And that brings me to the latest report coming out of ESPN that suggests we are about to form a partnership in the secondary that could be absolutely lethal. You are worried about where the stadium is? You better be worried about who's playing safety, because if this next report is true, the Bears are not just trying to build a stadium, they are trying to build a fortress. We are talking about a specific duo that analysts are projecting to take over our defensive backfield. This is the tactical move that changes everything.
Let's talk about the X's and O's, because while the politicians argue, the roster builders are working. This Saturday, Matt Bowen from ESPN dropped a projection that should have every Bears fan sitting up straight. He is forecasting a brand new dynamic safety duo for our Chicago Bears in 2026. The plan? It involves two key names, re-signing the veteran Kevin Byard and bringing in free agent Cameron Curl, formerly of the Rams and Commanders. Let's break down why this is a stroke of genius. First, you look at Kevin Byard. This man is a professional. He brings that veteran savvy, the leadership, the ability to diagnose plays before the ball is even snapped. He stabilizes the room. But you cannot rely solely on veterans. You need youth, you need explosion, and that is exactly what Cameron Curl brings to the table. Curl is one of the most underrated safeties in the entire National Football League. He can play in the box, he can cover tight ends, he is physical, and he is young. Matt Bowen sees this pairing as the key to solidifying the secondary for the long haul. Think about the balance here. You have Byard as the field general, the guy who makes sure everyone is lined up, the guy who prevents the deep ball disaster. Then you have Curl as the enforcer, the versatile weapon you can move around the chessboard to confuse quarterbacks. This isn't just throwing names at a wall. This is a constructed vision for a top-tier defense. In a division where we have to face high-powered offenses, having a safety tandem that can tackle, cover, and communicate is non-negotiable. This move would instantly upgrade our pass defense from questionable to formidable. It sends a message that we are prioritizing the back end of our defense, ensuring that we do not give up cheap touchdowns. Bowen's analysis is spot on. This is the kind of high-level pairing that wins playoff games. It combines experience with athletic prime. It is the perfect marriage of stability and aggression. And if Ryan Poles pulls this off, if he secures Byard and lands Curl, suddenly our defense looks a whole lot scarier. We go from having holes in the zone to having a no-fly zone. This is how you build a championship roster, piece by strategic piece. But when you step back and look at the full picture, the cap cuts, the stadium drama, and now this defensive master plan, you realize something terrifyingly important. All of these moves are connected. The money we save from cutting that veteran is the money that pays Cameron Curl. The stadium leverage depends on putting a winning product on the field. It is all one giant puzzle.
This is it, Chicago. We are witnessing the dismantling and rebuilding of our beloved franchise in real time. The money is moving, the location is threatened, and the roster is transforming. We are cutting the past to pay for the future. But will the gamble pay off? I need to hear from you. Is cutting a veteran worth it to sign Cameron Curl? And how do you feel about the governor's comments? Are we losing the Bears to the suburbs? Drop your comments below, because this conversation is just getting started. We are in this together. Bear down.